So here in Florida, as well as many Gulf states, even as you get into the Carolinas, can you see all the water coming out of these yards? Look at all that water. And I mean, the ground is so saturated, it goes every direction here. As far as we walk down the street, you'll see this water come out of these yards. And this is what we call soggy yards. I mean, you can see there's a flow. Can you see the flow of water? We're just walking down the street. But every yard here has the same issue. And so much water comes out of these yards. Nearly every yard in this neighborhood, the backyard is lower than the front. And we've done quite a bit of work here. But you can see how much water just comes out of the soil here. It's just tremendous amounts of water. When it rains here in Florida, groundwater rises. And it will find its path to the least resistance. Here's somebody's sump pump they've put in their backyard, and you can just see it. Everywhere you walk in this neighborhood, you will see this. Both sides of the street. Comes across their sidewalk. It just drains out. Some people think that a dry well can take care of this problem, but it cannot. The sump pump is the heart of the system. So that is the heart, that sump pump. And it protects this house. It actually helps this one over here, and of course that one over there as well. This line, kind of review, it starts right over here at this catch basin, and this entire yard flooded so bad. Look how dry it is now. It's just beautiful. Has several catch basins. There's French drain that runs down through here. One thing about catch basins is you have to maintain. You can see that guy just cut the grass. You've got to maintain that grate. Make sure you get those grates clean. Line comes across, all French drain, all down through here, between the catch basins. French drain comes down through. It turns and enters into the Sump Basin. Picks up 2 more catch basins over here, all French drain. No worries about putting the catch basins, letting that come down into your French drain. The grates keep the debris out. The pump will lift up whatever debris comes in and send it all the way out to the street. Hey, good morning. Chuck here with Apple Drains. If you remember, the heart of the backyard system, we're going to go ahead and replace this. This was a temporary pump that we put in, that little 1/3 of a horsepower. Remember, that worked great, but we want to put the Zoller M98 back in this pit. So let's go ahead and get started on that. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and pump this pit out. We're going to pull up that float. Just empty out this pit, and it's going to fill back up again while we're working, but that's fine. Perfect. Next, we're going to go ahead and take this no hub off right here, and this will make it really simple. We'll just go ahead and loosen that up. Yep, unplug it. Loosen it up. Perfect. Pull this whole pump, the temporary pump, out. I use this a lot. I give this to a lot of people. It's just a temporary pump. That's all it is. We're going to set that off to the side. Next, we're going to see if we can't just take that whole assembly off of this pump. It might unscrew. We might need the wrench. There it goes, because I just put it in. We're going to take that whole assembly off. We'll put it onto the new Zoller M98 and see if it lines up to this one. It probably won't. We'll probably need to go ahead and cut a new piece of pipe, but we'll give it a try. You can see that port right there. We're just going to see if it'll screw right in there. We don't want to cross-thread it, so we take our time, make sure it goes in there nice. All right, now we'll just set that down in there and see if it lines up. We'll see where we're at. I have a feeling it's a little short, but we'll check it out. Or maybe it's a little high, but whatever, we'll find out real quick. So, okay, that's good, just step out. So you can see how much higher this is than our discharge. So what we've got to do is shorten this up. We're gonna go ahead and take it back apart, and we'll just cut a little piece off to get to the right section. So we're gonna just pull this assembly out of here. Remember, there's a male threaded 1.5 adapter that we're putting in there. We're going to go ahead and loosen up the check valve clamp and pull this bottom piece off, and then we can just cut that to length and put it back together. We need basically to cut off about 2 inches of this little riser right here. More, a little bit more.
Sure.
Right there. So we're going to go ahead and cut that off. It's always kind of hard to cut small pieces of pipe. Perfect. So we'll start by putting the riser in, and the secret to this is spin it backwards just a little bit. You don't want to cross thread it, so if you spin it backwards, it'll drop and seat itself down into the threaded portion of the pump. There it goes, perfect. Just as tight as we can make it with our hand. We don't need a wrench, we just need to make sure that it does get down into those threads, and as tight as we can make it. Perfect. Now we can put the check valve back on. A little bit tight right there because of that protection bar, but it'll be fine. Once we get it seated on there, we'll be able to tighten that clamp right up on there. Nice. Maybe loosen the clamp up just a little bit more. Perfect. Now we can tighten it up. This is something that the homeowners could easily do themselves, but this customer, this woman, I think she's 86, and she's not going to come out here and do that. Remember, this is Florida, and a lot of people, I love how Ed says it, Ed from Raleigh, people don't retire up north. They come down here to the south to retire. Everything's looking good. Just checking all the clamps now, looking good, perfect. Looking really good. Now we're going to put a pressure relief in here. We want to try to get it either vertical or a little bit so that it just points down. That way the spray stays down in the pit. Perfect, perfect. Now we're ready to put it together. Okay, so now we've put the pump back down in the pit, and we're just going to tighten up the clamp, and we're ready to go. Plug it in. Perfect, just perfect. We'll plug that in, that'll kick right on, and that's going to disappear within seconds. Here we go. Look at that. Look how fast that water disappears out of there. Just unbelievable fast. Look at that pressure relief. Perfect. That's a Zoller M98 half horsepower, and it just pumps 20 gallons in less than 5-6 seconds. So finally we're going to go ahead and just cut this side, because they've got a little piece of conduit over here on the side. We can put the wire up through that conduit and make it a little bit more secure so the mowers and guys won't hit that cord, which is really pretty nice. And then we just need to find the end of the conduit with our finger. There it is. Perfect. So now we can just run that cord right up through there. Now we're just going to fish this end of the plug through the conduit. It's a little bit tight, but it should be fine. You can see it comes right out. Clean that off. Pull it all the way through. All the way through. Perfect. Then we can just wrap it around the post here, and that way it's up and out of the way. Wait a minute. Oh yeah, look at the difference. This is the M98, and you can see it. It's look how fast that emptied that pit. Look at that. That was about 15 gallons of water in just a few seconds. So that is the heart, that sump pump, and it protects this house. It actually helps this one over here, and of course that one over there as well. This line, kind of review, it starts right over here at this catch basin, and this entire yard flooded so bad. Look how dry it is now. It's just beautiful. Has several catch basins. There's French drain that runs down through here. One thing about catch basins is you have to maintain. You can see that guy just cut the grass. You've got to maintain that grate. Make sure you get those grates clean. Line comes across, all French drain, all down through here between the catch basins. French drain comes down through. It turns and enters into the Sump Basin. Picks up 2 more catch basins over here, all French drain. No worries about putting the catch basins, letting that come down into your French drain. The grates keep the debris out. The pump will lift up whatever debris comes in and send it all the way out to the street. So you can kind of see the bowl between this house and our customer's house. They actually went together on this drain and decided to fix all that. But that was totally underwater every time it rained. And of course now it's just dry as a bone. Hey, this is Chuck with Apple Drains, reminding you that if you believe you can do something, I guarantee you can do it. Have a great day. You know, all of the communities here, most communities, they're subdivisions, and I really like this one. Simple design. A little creek here, and you can see they've got the brick and the post and painted white against the brick color, giving it that feel of, you know, North Carolina. And you can see they've got a really great stormwater runoff here. Huge culverts coming in, flowing through. Just beautiful spot, just beautiful.